Thank you and welcome back. Thank you so much. Have you seen Mr. Vizard? He's stuck in... Have you seen him stuck in the audience? You're a serious fan, aren't you?
We want the Corrs.
All right, our next guest has spent his life doing what every big brother should do, looking after his little sisters, finding them a job, taking them on trips around the world, checking out their boyfriends, and I hope they're very, very grateful for what he does. Would you please welcome, along with you two, Ireland's biggest musical export, the Corrs. Andrea, Sharon, Caroline and big brother Jim. Welcome. Now, Jim, do you get any respect from these sisters? Do they appreciate what you do for them?
No, they beat me up regularly.
They do? They do. And
I probably deserve it too.
Did you grow up in a family where every time we went to the bathroom there'd be girls' underwear and makeup and all that stuff around, did you?
It was kind of a little bit like that, all right, yeah.
He felt privileged.
You felt privileged, did you?
Yeah.
Why?
No, he did.
Oh, is that right? I'm sure he did.
Why is that? Why
did.
would I have felt privileged?
Now, 25 million records that you've done in a matter of a couple of years, and yet everything one reads about you is your beauty, not about your talents. Do you get tired of people telling you you're beautiful?
Oh, well, who could tire of that?
Jim gets tired of it.
Yeah. Well, we actually, maybe that's public perception or whatever, but I think when you're immersed in it yourself, we don't feel it like that. I mean, as you said, I mean, we've sold 22 million albums, and that's not 22 million photographs. You know, it's really, I think initially we pushed ourselves that little bit further because we did feel that maybe in certain ways, you know, people could be prejudiced or biased or think it's all looking a certain way and it's all so nice and pretty, and could it really be musical? So I think we asserted ourselves and probably got better at our instruments and pushed ourselves harder songwriting-wise.
But you could do that for 1 million album, maybe, you know, some pretty women and a really handsome bloke. But but 25 in that. I mean, do you wish they'd write about your music as well as buy your music?
I think every time they come to a show, I think, you know, when anybody comes to see our show, they get the whole package and they get to see exactly what we do on stage. And anybody that comes away from that knows exactly what we're about.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, we don't wake up in the morning and go, hi, I'm gorgeous. I mean, it just doesn't work that way. So, I mean, it's like, you know, we're just involved in the music, and that's what makes us keep going and keep making records, you know.
Do you have any thoughts on why it is that Ireland, with such a small population, produces so many wonderful musicians? Is it in the soul? Is it like poetry in the soul?
I think Ireland is a land of optimism, and I think we've been through a great many tragedies in our past, and certainly I think, as everybody knows all around the world, one way of lifting yourself out of a painful situation is to escape, and music is a great form of escapism, and it's very much part of our heritage. I mean, if you go to Ireland, you find music on every street corner, in every pub. It's so much part of our culture. Yeah. And in every house, at least one person plays an instrument. So
Mum and Dad were musicians, weren't they? What did they play?
Well, Mum was a singer. She played guitar as well, and Dad played keyboards and piano.
And did you start in pubs?
Myself and Jim played in pubs
for a
couple of years.
But you weren't allowed. You were still in the conference stage,
We were still too young, I think, to play at that stage, yeah.
And where do you get this reputation of being the hardest working band in the world?
Because we're wrecked.
Because you do it.
Because we're wrecked, because
well, we're here.
we travel everywhere.
You've come in from New Zealand today, haven't you?
Yeah, we don't actually, I think the fact that, you know, that we have had such success all around the world means we wish, and it's what we want to do, is to go and play in those places. That makes you work very hard because there's an awful lot of ground to cover. And we do it.
And you write all your own stuff together. How do you do that? Do you get together and just write it, or does one write it and come and say, hey, this is a great song?
It kind of varies, you know. It just depends who's most inspired at the moment.
Who is most inspired at the moment?
Too busy to be inspired.
Too busy.
Yeah, exactly. It really just depends. I mean, some of us get together as partnerships where, you know, might be myself and Andrea, Caroline and Andrea. Sharon writes on her own a lot. Andrea do a lot of lyrics, Sharon does lyrics as well. So it just really depends. I mean, it would be infrequent that we would come together as a four-piece and actually try and write. But at the end of the day, there's definitely all four of us on each track.
And I guess we've had these stories of the Osmonds and the Carpenters and the Jacksons and some of these families sort of split. Do you actually, you obviously get on, do you go on holidays together at home? Do you eat together?
No.
Nothing as silly as that.
It's quite funny, right, because the way it's turned out. I think we fought an awful lot more years ago, and ironically, we smiled an awful lot more then. But and now we find that, I mean, with all we've been through, we probably are the only people that really understand each other extremely well, and you know, all the things we have gone through them together. And you know, when Sharon had a honeymoon, we all ended up out in the south of France with her.
Is that right?
The family. So sometimes it does get like that, because we really have freedom with each other. We do whatever we like. Nobody's kind of going, you know, we don't look at each other and go, my God, that's Jim Corrs, and he's out of his mind drunk, or, you know what I mean? Or, not that he would be, that is.
Not
but
that
if
he
he
would.
was.
If he was.
If he were to.
If he was Irish and a
Have
drinker, of
if
course
he were
would
to
be.
dabble.
But Catholic convent girls, to play at the Vatican, was that the highlight so far, or what was the highlight of
Well,
it?
Catholic, I mean, you know, we did go to a school run by nuns, but I don't think I'd ever describe us as Catholic convent girls. I mean, Ireland has kind of moved a bit on from that, you know.
Okay.
That's kind of one of those kind of stereotypical images of Ireland that other countries have. Yes, it was a convent school, and we have been brought up Catholic. We'd like to consider ourselves a bit more cosmopolitan than that. It sounds so kind
I didn't mean as a
old-fashioned,
put down, because
you know.
I mean, every village you go to in Ireland, there's the Catholic Church holiday.
No,
over
and
there.
it is, and it's a beautiful tradition, I suppose. But we're kind of a lot more kind of multicultural now these days.
Well, the Pope was the Pope or the Vatican? Was the Pope there when you
Pope,
played?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a big gig.
Oh, it was amazing.
That was
incredible.
Yeah, to meet a man. I mean, you only get one chance to kind of do something like that in your life, and it was only of recent that he was, you know, actually meeting artists at the time, and we just had a great time meeting him. It was amazing.
What did he say anything?
Said a Merry Christmas. You're from Ireland.
Said
Merry
hello.
Christmas.
That was it. That was the height of it. You're from Ireland.
You're from Ireland, your family from Ireland, or whatever.
And Merry Christmas. And the Queen? Did you speak to the Queen?
We didn't actually get a chance to meet her, though. She was we did the Commonwealth Games when she was there, but she'd gone off before we actually got a chance. But we've been very privileged to meet some great individuals. Like recently we met Nelson Mandela, and that was an honour. He's a very charismatic.
Were you in South Africa?
Beautiful person. Not in South Africa. No, I was in London.
Okay. Do you have any idea why it is that after Ireland you're so popular in Australia? What is it about Australia that have taken the Corrs to heart?
Maybe
So
it's
many
common.
Irish.
Maybe
So many Irish?
So many Irish here, you know.
maybe
I mean,
we wanted to tour somewhere gorgeous and spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
I think it's very similar. I mean, we always think kind of a very similar attitude towards life. It's kind of, you know, it's not a culture that is trying to be too cool to be anything. You know what I mean? That they're too cool to like this, or very free people, very liberated, very much about life is for living, and you work to live, not live to work. And we just also, another aspect, when we first came here and listened to the radio, we found what you listen to what we would like to listen to personally ourselves. So I think it's kind of, you kind of like melodic music like we do.
You've been here 5 or 6 tours? Is it 6
yeah,
now?
something like that, I think.
You're-
Yeah, about 6, yeah.
Almost a second home, isn't it?
Yeah. Feels like it.
It feels like it, does it? Now, when do you go home? You had a 5-week tour. When do you head back to
We
Ireland?
come on Friday. Where we've got 2 more gigs left. That's in Melbourne tomorrow night and then the next night, and then we fly home for about 5 or 6 days off, which we're looking forward to.
Now, in Melbourne, of course, Steve Vizard, we had earlier, who is probably stalking you, Jim. He's not stalking the girls, he's stalking you. He lives in Melbourne as well, so we'll warn you about that. But,
We'll keep an eye out for
okay, you can't miss it. So you're going to sing for us. You're going to give us your new single from this album a little later in the show.
Yep.
We thank you so much for this. We'll let you go and gargle your throats. And very much lovely to meet you, and we'll have you in a moment. After the break, an inspiring man who's dedicated his life to a fantastic cause. We'll see you soon. Please thank the thought.